everyone, it's me, Rebecca B. Welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. I appreciate you all so very, very much. So in today's video, I thought I would take you all around to show you the plants that have been putting on some new growth for me. All of my plants for the most part have been looking pretty good, and I am really enjoying all of the new growth during these times with staying home much more. They really have been a saving grace. Okay, let's get this video started. So this is what we see when we walk into my living room. Left-hand side over here is my golden pothos. And then we'll just kind of pan around so you can see the rest of the living room. If we start over here at my golden pothos, I moved this plant from the right side of my living room over to this left-hand corner, only because it is getting quite long and I wanted to give it a little bit more room to be able to trail down. On the other side of my living room, it was kind of hitting the couch a little bit. So this plant has been putting on lots of new growth for me, and I've propagated from this one quite a bit. And this one is a super fast grower. If we move over to the front side of the living room, right here is my Sansevieria snake plant. This one here, leaf, is a new leaf. Up here is my Hoya compacta Hindu rope, Carnosa compacta. That's got some new growth points. And if we come down here, this is my Ficus Elastica rubber tree, the Taniki. And all of these pink leaves here are the ones that are new growth. This one has put on so many leaves just within the last month or so. It's really, really looking full and beautiful. Here's my bird of paradise. This one, if you recall, I repotted this one a couple of months back, and it's been getting lots of new growth. It's doing really well. Purple passion plant down here. Always putting on new growth as well. I propagate from this one often. Love this plant, one of my favorites. Super beautiful. Love the fuzzy purple leaves, the purple hairs with the dark green foliage, beautiful. If we come back here to the ruby, let me see, no, this one is the Burgundy Ficus Elastica. Also, lots of new growth points. That one right there is just getting ready to pop out. Love these leaves when they come in because they're quite a bit thinner than when they harden off. And when the sun shines, it shines right through them. And the color is just, it's absolutely gorgeous. Here in the front is my Cactuses Thai Giant. This one is actually my husband's plant. The leaves on this guy are so thin, and I mean, after several weeks of being open, the edges on this guy's leaves get crispy, and I'm not sure if it's a humidity problem. Maybe it needs more humidity, which I really don't want to have a humidifier in my home. I kind of feel like the humidity is high enough. I don't want to cause any problems. So if any of you have any suggestions as to what I could do for this Cactuses Thai Giant to prevent the crisping, please leave your comments below. I'd love to hear from you and see what you think. So anyway, love this guy. It's been putting on new leaves. This one right here in the center is a new leaf, and it's gorgeous. Over here is my Ficus Loretta, my fiddle leaf fig. There's a new leaf coming in there. The one behind it is a new one as well. And the two to the left and to the right are also fairly new. So this guy not having any problems. Beautiful. Love this one. Okay, and then here I just have a couple of True Christmas cactuses, cacti. They're doing well. If we move over here to the right, I have my lemon lime prayer plant, and this one has been doing awesome. All these cigar looking little leaves are new growth coming in. No problems with this guy, beautiful. Now this guy down here is, oh, this one I overwatered about probably 3 weeks ago, and I forgot to empty the water out of the attached plate at the bottom, so it really has stayed quite wet for too long, and I'm trying to just leave it alone now. And I'm just hoping that it will recover on its own. I could, and I have thought about repotting it, but I just haven't done that as of yet. And I'm thinking I'm just going to leave it alone to see if it will recover on its own. I'm hoping and crossing my fingers. So that's the red-veined Maranta. And if we come up here to this guy, this is my ZZ plant. And I originally had two of them. One was in my bedroom and my other one was exactly in the same spot. I combined the two of them together. My son gave me a couple of planters. He gifted me a couple of planters for Mother's Day, and this is one of them. So I decided to combine the two of my ZZ plants together into this one pot. And I'm loving it. It's so pretty. If we move over here, this is a spider plant that I repotted a couple of months ago, and it's getting lots of new growth at the top. It's putting on lots of new babies around the bottom, and I'm thinking I'm going to just leave these babies on here for a while just to see how full I can get it to look. And maybe after a little while I'll take some of the babies off, but I really would just like to see what it will look like if I leave all those babies on there. I've seen a couple of photos of some spider plants with the babies left on, and it looks pretty cool. So I'm gonna see what this one will do for me. If we come over here, this guy here, sorry for the lighting. This guy here is my African mask, my Amazonica, Alocasia amazonica. And this one has been putting on several new leaves. I think it has popped out like maybe, I think 2 or 3 new leaves. More than I've had in quite some time. I've had this plant for about 2.5 years or so. And really it is looking the best that it has probably since I first received it. So love that guy. A little harder to take care of, kind of prone to spider mites, but we're doing all right. No real issues to speak of. Okay, this guy here is my Philodendron Prince of Orange. It's getting a lot bigger. It's got a new growth coming in there. Super pretty. Let me see here if I can show you. My string of turtles. This one I've had for a couple of months now. It seems to be pretty happy. It's got some rat tail blooms. Really pleased with this one. I can't wait till it gets bigger. So pretty. And not a whole lot to say about my Monstera Deliciosa. This one always grows well for me. Always putting on some new leaves. I really don't even know which one is the most recent. I want to say one of these top ones are the most recent. So that's doing really well. Down here is my Monstera Deliciosa. I have propagated from this one a couple of times recently. I don't know whether there's any new growth at the moment to show you, but there was just recently, and I have actually cut a couple of the vines off to propagate them, and I'll probably stick them back into the same pot. One thing I have noticed with this one is it does seem to be kind of sensitive to the sunlight. This is an east-facing window, and you know, not real harsh sun, but definitely enough to cause a little bit of bleaching in the leaves. So I need to be careful with this guy. I may even move him here soon just to try to keep the leaves from getting bleached. So not quite sure where I'll put it, but definitely thinking about putting it in another spot. This one here, this is my Hoya Carnosa Crimson Princess, and there's some new growth going on there. Love the new growth. The white comes in a pinkish color, and this one, the pink actually does really get quite vivid, like a darker pink. It's absolutely gorgeous, the new growth. And if we move over here, this one is my Hoya, another one of my Hoya Carnosa compactas, doing really well. Those are some new vines and a new leaf right there coming out. And this one trails down pretty good. They are one of my favorite, the compactas. I have a couple of these guys. Love, love, love them. And if we come down here, we still have some blooms on my Thanksgiving cactus. A couple of them. Well, actually, well, yeah. We got some white blooms on this one, purple blooms on the one in the back. And they are all putting on new growth that you can see right here. The reddish growth is the new growth. And a couple more cacti down there, Thanksgiving cacti. And my aloe in the center, that one's just kind of unremarkable. It's doing okay. If we pan over here, there's my snake plant. I believe this one is the Xylanica, and it's doing all right. And that one is a pink blooming Thanksgiving cactus. It's got some new growth as well. And if we come up here, I have my neon pothos, which is doing pretty well. You'll hear my husband come in a second. He's just coming in the side door. Here is my silver pothos, and this one has actually finally settled in, and it seems to be doing pretty good. Initially I was kind of worried because it was getting lots of brown tips, but that is starting to subside now, and it's starting to trail down for me. And this one is the Syndapsis Pictus Argyrius. Beautiful plant, and I'm so happy that it's doing a bit better now. This plant over here is that is my Marble Queen pothos. She is a queen, looking so pretty. This one is a much slower grower than the rest of my pothos, but it has definitely put on some new growth, and I love the color of those leaves. So pretty with the mostly white variegation in them. Beautiful. Okay, so now we'll move into the kitchen. I only have one plant out there that I'm going to show you, and that's my Hartley Philodendron. So we'll take a look at that. Okay, actually let me see, I have a couple plants in here, guys. I forgot about my Makoto's Petala Jewel Orchid. So anyway, this is the Hartley Philodendron, the Philodendron Scandens. And of course, this guy is always putting on lots of new growth. And here's some more. And I'm always trimming this one back. propagating this one, taking cuttings. Beautiful plant. Say hi, honey.
Hello. I gotta get back to work.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Hi, Brady. I'll be back.
Okay, over here I have a couple of cuttings of my Ceropegia woodii, and that is the string of hearts. So a couple of the vines fell off, so I decided to stick them in some small nursery pots and see what we get. And they're doing well. Each of them has some new growth, so that's a good sign. Over here, this one is kind of hard to see. I'm gonna open this one up for you. Hang on, guys. Okay, so this one is the Makoto's petala, and hopefully you can see that. Hopefully it focuses. Let's see. I've had this one for several months now, and I just recently put it into this sealable vacuum tight jar to hold in the humidity, and it is doing really, really well. It's hard for you guys to see, but there is some new growth in there. Let's see if I can get it to focus. The tiny leaves in the right-hand corner are new, and the ones in the center of this plant are new as well. So it's loving this environment. My only question is going to be, once this outgrows this container, how am I going to get it out of here? I'm thinking I will probably have to take it out by, the base of the plant and kind of bring it out upside down. Or who knows, maybe I'll have to break the jar. Ouch, I don't know. So those are just the couple of plants that I have in my kitchen. And if we come out here into my back porch, right here is my string of bananas, and it's doing well. Not as full on the top as I would like it to be, but it's doing all right. And I'm thinking within the next couple of days, I will probably end up propagating from this plant. I'm going to give it a good pruning. I'm going to trim it back probably to about half of what it is. So up here, I have a jade plant that, to be honest with you, I haven't really been paying too much attention to. Not sure if it's putting on a whole lot of new growth, but it's definitely okay. It's doing well. This plant here is my Hoya Macrophylla Variegata, and this whole part of the stem here is new. And let me see, I don't think there's any new leaves yet. This leaf, these couple of leaves right here that are at the base, you know, where the end of the leaves stop there, those two are new at the bottom. So that is the Hoya Macrophylla. I love this plant so much. It's gorgeous. Okay, if we come up here, that is my Syngonium. It's doing well, super lush and full. I have another jade plant back there. That jade plant back there, I actually cut it back. I think I did a video on this one as well, and I planted the cuttings directly into the pot. So it's definitely a lot fuller now. It's beautiful. I love jades. Back here is my silver squill. That one's doing fine. It's also getting lots of new growth. And my curly orchid cactus, beautiful. That one's getting lots of new growth as well. I love how they grow in all kinds of spirally and weird looking, neat. Okay, if we come down here, let's see. I have some new growth on my Hoya obovata. It does look like some buggies or something took a chunk out of it. Wow, and this leaf right here has gotten huge. The last time I really took a look at this one, It was not that big. The only thing is it's coming in kind of looking like a heart shape. And if you can see the underneath of that leaf, just kind of different looking. So hopefully any more growth that comes in will be the way that it should be, circular. So we'll see, but it's doing all right. I have my Hoya Crinkle 8. No new growth on this one yet, but it's still healthy and beautiful looking. This one is my most recent. This one is the Hoya Rebecca. No new growth on this one yet either, but it's doing well. This one here is my Hoya Pubicalyx. This one has gotten lots of new leaves. Pretty much all those leaves in through that top area are new. And this stem is new as well. So that one's doing great. And if we come down here to the third shelf, this is my this one is my Tradescantia pallida, the purple queen or purple heart. And that one is doing great. Love the vibrancy of the purple. That's a beautiful plant. Over here is my Peperomia obtusifolia variegata. Lots of new growth there. My Rexes are looking really full and pretty. And this one is my Pilea peperomoides. I'm hoping that this one starts to do a bit better. The leaves haven't really been looking so great. They have some spots around the edges. I did treat it with some copper fungicide. Not sure if that was the problem, or maybe it just could be the water that I was using or not enough sun. So we're just going to kind of wait it out with this one and see if the new growth comes in healthier looking. Here is my beautiful Moonlight Philodendron that I just unboxed the other day. And this is a gift from Adele at Lifeaholic. And I'm so happy with this guy. This plant is beautiful. I love the color of those leaves. It's gorgeous. And back here, I just have a little kalanchoe with another little succulent in there, a couple of kalanchoes and a succulent. This one here is my Peperomia clusifolia, the Ginny or the jelly plant. And over here I have another Hoya carnosa compacta. This one I really don't think has put on a ton of new growth yet. And this one is actually, I've had this one probably for longer than I've had my other ones. So in time. Back here is my string of raindrops. And that one's doing all right. Get some new growth there. If we pan over to the right, this is my Hawaiian spider plant. I repotted this one about a month and a half ago or so. And to be honest, guys, I wish that when I repotted this one, I would have put it into a bigger pot, or maybe a pot that I could set on a raised plant stand, only because I know that this plant is going to outgrow this pot probably. I'm hoping not by the end of this season. I'm hoping it can stay in this pot for a year or so, but I don't know. It's getting lots of new growth out through the top, so I'm hoping that it'll be okay. If we come over here, I have some Chinese evergreens. Not sure of the exact names of these guys. Different varieties. And they are putting on some new growth. Right there is a new one. And I think this one is it the Lady Valentine or Pink Dalmatian, something like that. And if we come down here, this one is my Philodendron Micans. This one is looking much better. It's a slow grower for me, this one is. Maybe it just hasn't really settled its feet into the soil yet, but I'm hoping it really takes off. I love that plant so much, the Philodendron Micans. It's beautiful with that reddish, velvety green foliage. Very pretty. And this one is my pink, This one is a pink, is it confetti? Yeah, this one is a pink. This one is a confetti syngonium. And this one I purchased like a year and a half ago, I think, as just a tiny plug. And it's really filling in now. Pretty. This one here is either a Pearls and Jade or an Enjoy. And this one is doing much better now. For a while it was struggling. I think it's finally found its way into the soil. And it's doing all right. This plant back here, guys, this is I forgot to show you the last shelf on my rack over there. We'll have to go back. So anyway, this is the Tradescantia Moses in a Cradle. This is the one that I trimmed back a couple of weeks ago, right down to the base of the stems, and it's all starting to grow back now. Super pretty looking. Here's one of my more recent plants. This is the Serrapegia woodii, and this one is getting lots of new growth as well. It's looking really good. String of hearts. And down here, there's my Dancing Bones Rhipsalis. That one's putting on some new growth as well. That's the Rhipsalis. And then here is, I think this one is a Chocolate Soldier, a succulent. And I love the colors of this guy. So no new growth yet, but it is really new. So I'm not expecting any new growth probably for a little while yet. Peace Lily is doing all right. It's got a little flower there. If we come back over to this shelf here, I did miss a few. My Gasteria in the back has bloomed, and you can kind of see the flower sticking up through the bar there. So that one is super happy. Now, if we come down here, this is another Begonia Rex. This one is really filling out. It's looking super pretty, no problems. This one here, this is my Haworthia, and this is another planter that my son gave me as a gift for Mother's Day. So I repotted it into this beautiful purple planter. Back here I have my Philodendron Birkin. I did a little haul video that included this one not long ago, and it's looking good. This one here is my original Tradescantia Moses in a Cradle. You can see new growth coming in here. I cut all of this plant back, and these are the cuttings that I took and placed them back into the original pot. So these are all cuttings here that are still adjusting a bit, but they're doing okay. And there's, you can see new growth on this, I think it's the Tradescantia Nanook. It's getting some new growth as well. Not much, but it's doing okay. Okay, over here is my Hoya Y Ti. All of these stems are new. Looking pretty good. That's my goldfish plant. And that's doing well. Over here is my, this one is my ruby Ficus Elastica with the red leaves. This one is super pretty. All of these leaves and through the top are new within like the last month or so, and it's got two new ones coming in right now as well, and a third one back there. Here is my ZZ Raven. These are the newest leaves that came in. Love this plant. Super pretty. Over here is my Begonia Lucerne. Begonia Lucerna. And this one is doing well as well. It's got some new growth there. Another new growth point there. So that one is doing well. Back here is another Chinese evergreen. This one is my Silver Bay, and it's getting some new growth right in through the top. This one has finally started to grow for me. I was a little bit worried about it for a while there. My lipstick plant has redeemed itself. It's got some blooms going on, This one lost a lot of the vines initially, but it's really sprung back and putting on lots of new growth. It's beautiful. I love that foliage, so pretty. Over here is another spider plant that I repotted a while back. All the growth in through the top is new, so that one is doing well. New growth on my largest Thanksgiving cactus. And my adenium back there has got some new growth as well. The adeniums really don't do the greatest in my home. I don't have enough sunshine for these guys unless I put it outside, which I may choose to do, because I think it would probably do a bit better outside. So we may just do that. This plant here is my Monstera aquatica. This one had a bug issue, spider mites, a little while back, but we have since taken care of that problem, and it's getting lots of new growth in through the top. So I think that one is going to be fine. My Calathea rattlesnake lancifolia is doing well. It's getting some new growth there as well. Back there we have a Variegated Schefflera. I haven't really noticed a ton of new growth with this one yet, but it's looking good anyway. Ponytail palm back there. Here is my green Maranta, and this one is doing pretty good. It's getting really full in through the top. Love it. I think this is the Maranta Kirchoviana, something like that. Up here is my Peperomia Scandens Variegata. These guys, I think for the most part, the Peperomias, I think they put most of their growth on in the winter time. So I haven't been noticing a ton of new growth, maybe a little bit and through the top, but it's got these leaves, they stick together. Because these Peperomias are like, they're jelly-like, so they kind of stick together. Okay, let's see here. My Begonia Immaculata Y Ti. This guy, it's taken forever to put on any new growth. It did put on 2 new leaves, and I think this one is a new one here coming in. This one, when I purchased it from, I think I purchased this one from Lowe's, and if you guys remember, it was in really rough shape a while back, but it has put on some new leaves. This one is a new one here, and I want to say this one down here is a new one as well. So it's just taken a bit longer to settle in, but I'm sure after a while it'll do fine. Okay, spider plant, Bonnie spider plant. Nothing really new going on with this one yet. I'm waiting for it to throw off some babies, but haven't seen any. So that's the Bonnie spider. Back here is my Chinese evergreen. This one is a Maria, and this one is putting on some new growth there. This one is really filled out. New growth there. And up here, this is another Tradescantia. This one is the Zabrina. This one, I kind of revamped this one a couple of months ago, about a month and a half ago, and it's putting on lots of new growth in through the top, so it's definitely looking a lot better than it was. Down here is the Calathea Macquayana. It's doing all right. No new leaves yet, but we're hoping for some. All the growth is healthy though. The existing growth is still looking really good. Over here is my Pothos Mandula. This one has gotten quite a bit longer. It's starting to trail now. It did take quite a while, but it's starting to trail, and the new growth is looking super pretty. So that's the Mandula. Up here is my strawberry begonia, and it's looking nice and green and healthy. Not a ton of new growth yet, but it's early. Over here is my Hoya Philodendron or DS70. I repotted this one into this 8-inch pot. It was in a smaller pot, I think it was 6 inches, and it was drying out way too fast. So I repotted it into a bigger pot, and that one's doing great. And that's the Philodendron. Over here is one of my Cebu Blues. And these guys are super fast growers. Very pretty plant. Down here is my Rabbit's Foot Fern. And these guys, contrary to what most people believe, they really aren't that hard to take care of. I water this one once a week, and it sits back from a north-facing window and my west-facing window. It sits back about, well, I'd say 12 feet or so, and it's doing really well. I don't mist it. I water it once a week, and that's it. Okay, if we come over here, this one is my Calathea medallion. It has one new leaf that kind of looks like some buggies got to it, so I did treat this one with an insecticide, so hopefully we won't have any more of those issues. Over here is just a little parlor palm. It's doing okay. Here's my Alethea Batata. This one has some brown tips going on. This one is a new leaf. So could be a humidity issue, I'm thinking. Unlikely to be water because I do use distilled, so I don't think it's that. And here's another one of my Hoya Carnosa Crimson Princesses. And this one is doing well. Love them. Down here is my Calathea Freddy. The leaves in through the top here. These ones are new. So it's doing all right. These here are some cuttings that I took back a couple of months ago around Christmas time, and they're doing great. Here's my watermelon Peperomia that I'm still kind of waiting for this one to put out some newer, healthier growth, because when I purchased this one at, I want to say it was at Walmart a couple weeks ago, it wasn't looking that good. And the other side has more leaves to it. I just kind of turned it around because that side, the other side is more bare. So that's what this side looks like. So definitely a little rough looking, guys, but hoping it comes back. Okay, that's my Oxalis right there. And then I have a little Thanksgiving cactus back there. This one is a peach colored one. Down here I have my Pearls and Jade, and that one is starting to trail. Don't mind my paper products at the bottom there. Real life, guys. So that's my Pearls and Jade. Another true Christmas cactus that I grew from cuttings. This one has gotten quite large. It's doing really well. Easter cactus there. And up here is another Cebu Blue. It's doing well and putting on lots of new leaves. All that's new growth. This is my Philodendron Rojo Congo, and this is a new leaf coming in. This one is very pretty, very big. I love it. Up here, this is my Hoya Carnosa Splash, and this here is new. So all of the little vines have been putting on new growth. And this leaf right here, just a week ago, this one was brand new. You could touch it. Actually, it's this one right here. It was super flimsy, and it's just starting to harden off now. I love this plant. It's beautiful. So that is the Hoya Carnosa Splash. And then over here, I just have my green spider plant. It's got one little baby. And then I have my Dracaena, my corn plant, that I never really notice it growing bigger. Well, actually right here, there's a new leaf coming in. So it's definitely getting taller, but it's one of those plants that just kind of grows without you really noticing it. Simple but pretty. I'm kind of bouncing around a bit, but coming back to this shelf over here, this one is my Kalanchoe Blasphaldina, and I actually pruned this back not too long ago. I trimmed off the tops of those stems, most of those stems, and I repotted them back into the pot, and they're doing well. So happy about that. This one here, this one is a Peperomia obtusifolia, the green one, that I trimmed back and I planted the cuttings back into the soil, but I'm not sure whether the cuttings are going to make it. They are still really flimsy. They haven't really stiffened up any. And it's been probably about 2 weeks, I think, since I did that. So I'm not sure whether that's going to, I'm not sure whether the cuttings are going to make it or not. This is the original plant. This here and this here. And it looks like it's got some new growth right there coming in. These ones though, I might have to take them out. Okay, my friends, so this video turned out to be a little bit longer than I anticipated, but we got through all the plants. Most of them are putting on new growth, so I'm really pleased about that. And everything is looking really good. I'm really pleased. So, okay guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content of my videos, please consider subscribing. And leave some comments down below, guys. I'd love to hear from you. And I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.